Graham Coath with another My Music. Hope you're all well wherever you are and whatever you're doing at this time. And if you're listening to this live, thank you for joining. If you're listening to this on repeat, wherever it is, maybe Spotify, then I hope you're having a great day too. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking to Blue da da dee da da dum Walker. But first, let's have a little bit of a video from Analog Trash. You'll love this. It's not blue, it's pink. Blue, how are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. Now, people, if you're really clever and keen and you know your accents, you realise that Blue is from the Scots part of the world up there beyond the border. Where exactly are you from?
So I'm from a little town in East Lothian, which is just outside of Edinburgh, like 15 minutes-ish from Edinburgh.
Lovely. Lothian is doing so well with musicians of late.
I know. There's like so many up and coming people. Obviously, you've got your Lewis Capaldi. There's like Brooke Combe as well. She's like from around my neck of the woods. Yeah, there's lots of different
Sylvie, who's been on here as well. Do you know Sylvie?
Yeah, I have heard of Sylvie. There's also another band. I don't know if you've heard of them. Swim School.
Yeah, Swim School. Yeah.
They played the main stage at Transmit recently, which is wild, but like totally deserved, like amazing. So
it's great. What is it about? What is it in the water, Blue, that makes this all happen up in Lothian at the moment?
I don't know. I think it's just really nice to see like a lot of like new up and coming Scottish music now becoming really prevalent in the industry now. Like it's nice to get a little bit of a spotlight on Scottish talent because there's so many amazing artists and bands from Scotland. I think it's just really cool to see that they're getting such a platform now. So
yeah. I totally agree. Now, listen, you're slightly disappointing me there today because you're not dressed in blue like you normally are.
I know.
I know. It's fine. No, you're not.
A little bit of blue on my jumper.
A little bit of blue, yeah. But it's got to be asked, isn't it? Blue, is this your real name, or is this your stage name? This is
my stage name. Yeah.
Okay. We won't ask you what your real name is unless you want to tell us.
Emma. Really exciting, I know.
So why blue?
So blue comes from a lot of different reasons. One being just my fave color. And everyone says I've got my dad's eyes, and my eyes are blue. His are blue. My dad means a lot to me, so that's kind of like where Blue Walker came from. So it's a little.
I love that.
Like people that are important to me. So yeah, that's where Blue Walker comes from. And I think like when I was trying to find, because I didn't want to go on with like Emma Walker, I was like, I'm like, is that a bit boring? So yeah. I kind of thought like maybe I should like think of like a stage name. So that's kind of like, it kind of just rolls off the tongue a bit, and it kind of stuck with me. So I feel like that's when I was a bit like, yeah, I think I should go with this.
Beyond the music is kind of acting and being in a persona. Is that part of you? Because when you look at you doing these photo shoots and whatever, you've got a really strong look, right? You kind of inhabit Blue Walker, don't you? That's your personification. How natural is that to you to kind of do that?
Well, I think like when I go into these situations, I kind of have to leave Emma at the door and be like, right, step into like these blue shoes sort of, and be like, right, leave your anxiety and everything at the door. Like just go into this as like who you want to be and kind of the person that I want to be and how I want to be portrayed and seen as like a strong female,
Yeah. Is
At home,
is Emma a little bit more anxious
oh
than
yeah,
Lou? Yeah,
definitely, like a lot more anxious and like a lot more. I think I'm an overthinker. I care a lot about what people think sometimes, and like I know that's not a good thing, but I guess these things can't be helped. Sometimes you're like, especially when you're like putting yourself out there in such a way that people are going to look at you and have opinions and things like that. But Blue Walker's kind of like my escape from that.
yeah.
Be like, okay, let's show another side of me as like this new person. And it's kind of fun to be able to play around with that.
I was going to say, so for you, it's like if Blue can do it, then I'm doing it. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god, so I can do that. Which is scary but also really exciting, and I guess it's like it's given me like that like platform to just like express myself musically
yeah.
and in other ways that I never thought I would have been able to do this a few years ago. But
Well,
here I
I'm certainly glad that you are, and you're making some amazing pop music already. Where did the music side of it come from?
So, well, I've kind of been singing for like as long as I can remember, and I started off like doing like musical theatre. So I would do like acting, singing, and dancing. But as I kind of like got into it, I can't dance to save myself. And like acting wasn't really for me either. So I ended up getting like extra classes with singing, and like any roles that I would get would be like little singing parts. So that was kind
Wow.
of like, okay, maybe I should stick to this.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I moved to Manchester and I went to like a music college there and did vocals. And then I kind of just like met lots of different like creatives, being able to do that. And I started like writing. And I was always so anxious about showing anyone anything I'd ever written, and like being able to collaborate with like people that like who worked on me with the single and stuff. It kind of all just like started from there, just having people around you that want to work with you and like want you to show yourself in that way, and like kind of give you that little boost to be like, you can do this, and like I think you've got something. So that's kind of where like the music sort of started from, and like just writing about like things that I've gone through and like things that are currently happening. And yeah, that's kind of like where the music side sort of started, like taking myself away from like the theater that like I'd known for years,
Mm.
like stepping out into like the unknown.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did. And I still think there's an element of the theatre there, as I said, with, you know, this character that you're creating, and then where that character could inhabit. Jonathan's listening. He says follow some Scottish musicians and list them there, including Raintown, Katie McNichol, Robin Redd, etc. And he said you're a new name for him. So interesting
Oh
in watching this
wow.
interview. There you go. Could have a
Thank you
new
very much.
fan just like that. Bang, bang,
Woo!
bang.
Thank you very much.
That's the way it all happens. You obviously want to make a statement
Yeah.
with Blue. What are you wanting to make a statement about?
What do I want to make a statement about? I think a statement for me personally is like proving to myself that like I can make something of myself musically, and like kind of proving to myself that like I do have the capability to like write about like quite deep and traumatic things, and like be able to like make something like extraordinary out of that,
Mm.
those sad parts of myself, and being able to like take that pain and make it into something like musically. I think that's like a pretty big step for me. And
And
like,
you are writing about stuff that's really quite personal to you, etc.
yeah, and I think like that kind of is a statement in itself for me anyway. Writing about things that like, so I think like my life has been a bit tumultuous to say the least, and the things that I'm writing about are quite deep and quite serious in a way. Um, but being able to like kind of put my own creative spin on it and like
Mm.
take that pain and make it into something a bit more not
For anyone that hasn't listened to your music, give us some examples. What are you writing about?
so like growing up, like I've kind of like I'm someone that's dealt with a lot of grief. I lost my mum when I was very young.
So
I was
sorry.
13. Oh, it's okay. And I've had a parent that's like, dealing with a lot of health issues. And like, I think I had to grow up pretty young
Mm.
and, like dealing with like tumultuous like relationships with family and things like that. And dealing with my own like mental health struggles. I think like a lot of my music talks about like the situations I've gone through and my mental health and how I've tried to like cope with everything that I've gone through. And music has been an escape for that and has helped me in lots of ways. And I think like when you listen to my music, you'll probably be able to like tune in on that. So that's definitely like what I tend to write about. But trying not
Do you want to within Blue? Do you want to show other young women, for example, that you can be confident and come through this
to
and actually be inspiring to them to actually do the same thing? Is that
yeah, I
part of
guess
your?
so. Yeah, I guess for any young person, woman, man, anyone really, anyone that can like listen and relate. Like I think like something that's important to me is like anyone can listen to like my song and maybe take something away from it, whether it's good, bad, inspiring, whatever it is. Like I think that's like the big thing for me is like being able to connect with people and like different ways and maybe like having even if it's just one person like reaching out and like I listened to that and I really took like something positive away from that and like I really connected with that song. Like I think like that's like really cool and that would be really cool.
Um, Jonathan's saying again. Hi, Jonathan. You're coming up with some great stuff today. He first liked Nina Nesbitt, small town from near Edinburgh. Who was, as you were growing up and you were listening to music, who were inspirational to you in terms of
Mm.
maybe not necessarily just in terms of the type of music that they were making, but maybe more so around the sort of message that they were putting out.
Wow. So growing up I was very fortunate to have my dad who I listened to a lot of his music like growing up. And I think artists that like I just idolize were like Dusty Springfield. Love,
Wow.
love, love, love Dusty Springfield. Eva Cassidy was someone that I really looked up to. Like I find with Eva Cassidy, like my mom really loved Eva Cassidy, so I listened to a lot like in the car and stuff. And like a lot of her songs really were covers, but like how she could take a cover and just like of like a song and make it her own, but just make it so like delicate and emotional and beautiful. And like I just loved that. Other artists really that I love, really like idolize, really obviously Adele. I love Adele. Like I think her songwriting is just like next level, and like how she takes part of herself and like writes about it in such a way. Like I feel like you could listen to any Adele song and like it doesn't matter like what situation you're in, you can probably relate to something. Um, so yeah, Adele, Dusty Springfield. I really love, Freddie Mercury. I love there's just like so many different artists I love for so many reasons. And I think
I
I
mean, the
think
common thread between those is the voice.
yeah,
It's a big voice, a big, powerful voice.
yeah. And I think like that's always what I was drawn to when like listening to like music, like growing up. It was just like a big, strong, standout voice. So obviously
Yeah,
like your Whitney's, your Mariah's, like like there's so many artists that like I look up to in so many different ways and can like listen to like songs of theirs and like relate to it in some way. But I think like it's like the voice that stands out. That's
yeah.
like for me. And I think that's something that I've always tried to aspire to be as an artist. Like try and find my voice to like
I
stand out.
was
I don't know.
going to
Like
ask you that, you see, because that, being a singer and, it's always a tricky thing.
Yeah.
in a way, is finding your own voice, especially when you
Yeah.
do love those big voices, etc. And some people sort of naturally gravitate, find it much easier, and sort of just naturally gravitate into whatever is their natural voice. But if
Yeah.
your idols are like those people with those big voices, it's quite easy to find yourself trying to imitate and trying
Yeah.
to sing in the same way. How long did it take you to really find your voice that you felt comfortable with, and you
Yeah.
as
That's a good question, really. So I released my first ever single. It was called Hollow. I released that in May 2021. And I released another single called Without Me in November 2021. Um, and I think like when I first started this like songwriting sort of journey, um, those two songs are kind of like stepping stones for me. Like that's how I kind of like look back on them. Like I appreciate what they brought to me, and I appreciate the songs for what they are. But I think listening back now, I really can see like that those were like building blocks. And like I was kind of like playing around with different sounds and different genres and like different styles of singing and writing and arrangements and things. And like it's kind of led me to this point now. So I haven't released anything for over 2 years since then because lockdown happened, as we all experienced. And I feel like that was such a pivotal moment in my sort of like creative like flow, as you would say.
yeah.
I kind of like really had time. I guess we all did really. We all had time to like really sit with ourselves and like kind of like question everything, like what we want to do and like who we want to be and things. And like that was like a huge pivotal moment in my writing to be like, okay, what do I like? What kind of artist do I want to be? What do I want to be writing? What do I want to talk about? What do I want to sing about? Like, what's the message I want to like put out? And it kind of took like 2 years for me to like really write some music that I was like, wow, I'm really, really so proud of this. And I feel like it's leveled up in a lot of ways to like what I was doing before. Like I love the songs I've written and like released. I love them for what they are. And like it was such a good starting point. And I feel like it up until now, like working with who I've been working with on like the music that I'm about to release now, I've learned a lot of different things and like ways of like writing and like ways of like arranging songs and like, you know, using my voice, you know? Um so yeah, like I feel that's kind of where I've got to now.
I know. I think what you're coming up to now is the next period of your
It's such a huge
career.
yeah, I feel like I've finally found my voice. This
Yeah.
is like music that I'm just so excited for. And like I was excited about things before, but I think like because I've had so much time
But
to
you've grown since then.
yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. Like I've grown a lot and I've learned a lot in terms of like writing and stuff and working with like the people I've worked with on this stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a new chapter and I feel like I've now finally found my sound and I feel like when I'm going to be writing and releasing future projects, it's going to be a lot of the stuff. It's going to be the style that I'm writing in now. Like I can't see me wanting to like change it, if that makes sense.
That's cool. I mean, obviously, all artists kind of go through an evolution as they grow as an artist, as they get older, as well as they work with other people, as opportunities come their way. And all of those things mean that nobody ever stands still in the world of music,
Yeah.
which is great. But I think it's great when somebody gets to the point where they feel really a different level of confidence, and that they're able to show that confidence through their
Yeah,
art as well.
definitely.
And I think we're seeing that with, as you say, the look, the feel of everything. You seem to know what you want at the
Yeah.
moment.
And it took me like, a couple years, but I'm very grateful for those couple years because a lot changed and I changed in positive ways and it's allowed me to, make positive steps towards the artist I want to be.
It's brilliant. So lots more songs in the pipeline from Blue Walker.
Yes.
What's 2023 looking like in terms
Oh,
of, you know,
I
we're
haven't announced it yet, but I'll tell you now because I'm going to announce it on Friday. I've actually got an EP coming out. So this is the first single from the EP. So this is a bit of a spoiler, but it's okay. I can
this will
announce
be a clip later on the
it.
interweb, right?
Yeah, so the EP is titled It's All Doom and Gloom. And it's kind of like a juxtaposition to like the songs that you'll hear on the EP. Because it's kind of, you know, the sound and the style of the EP, and obviously of Doom and Gloom, the single, it is like a massive juxtaposition towards the actual theme of the song. And with the
Wow.
imagery, with the EP cover, the single covers, like, you know, the whole photo shoot that we did, I kind of wanted to like make light out of a dark situation, and I feel like it all pulled together well. So 2023 is it's an exciting year. There's going to be a lot going on. So obviously there's one single coming out on Friday, which is Doom and Gloom. There's going to be another single, and then the rest of the EP
It
later in the
sounds
week.
weird, sorry, but it does sound weird when you say it, doesn't it? The single coming out on Friday is all doom and gloom.
I promise the song isn't really.
But the song isn't like that at all, right? No. The song's fabulous. It's all doom and gloom. You know, there you go. I could voice that for you if you like. We're being asked. Will you be playing live in the UK at all? Will people be able to go and see you?
I would love that. I really would love that. I think I am wanting to get some live shows organized. I've kind of like finalized, you know, like getting a band sorted, like, because I want to have a full live band for these performances. Like, I just want like synths. I want real drums. Like, I want everything. And yeah, I just want like the full show. So
Yeah.
I think like I'm gonna see how Doom and Gloom does, and I think like I definitely would like to try and get some shows sorted, even if it was like an EP launch in Manchester or something, or trying to get some support slots with people maybe. Like,
Are you looking? Do you have musicians in mind, or are you looking for musicians? Or you know, you kind of open for musicians just to.
Yeah, like there's no one in particular in mind. Like, I'm really just open to like connecting with lots of different musicians. Like Manchester, I'm very lucky to live in Manchester because the music scene is amazing. Like, so many artists around, and there's gigs happening all the time. So it's definitely like on my list for the next couple of weeks to
If
reach
you're
out.
a musician in Manchester and you are the bees bits, and you know you listen to blues music after this and you think that's damn good, and you know you potentially want to be in a band and do a bit of touring, especially if you've got a bus that or a minibus that you know and equipment. I'm just saying. There you go.
Yeah.
It's so important, right? To get, you know, find someone that drives, got a bus, has equipment,
Yes.
has a PA.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Then you're sorted for life. Back in the day when we were in the Colourful People and we had you know, we had, bless him, Jerry. Without Jerry, our bass player, we wouldn't have gone anywhere, literally, because he had the minibus, he had the PA, he drove.
Just
The
like
rest,
one man band, really.
one man in the van. It was kind of a perfect arrangement. But sometimes you need that in the band in order to
Oh, yeah, definitely.
get it there. So if that's you, seriously, if you're out there in Manchester, you really are. You know, you can nail it. You're going to be the next big drummer or whatever. Get in touch with Blue. She'd love to hear from you. And maybe you can be touring around the UK before you know it.
Oh, I would love that. It'd be so fun.
I'd love to see you doing some stuff. I think
Oh my God,
lots of
yeah.
people would. I'm looking forward to the EP coming out. What about merch as well? I'd love to see you do some merch because I just think with that look, you know,
Yes. So it is in the pipeline. Nothing fully finalized yet.
it's a great way of people being able to support artists
I
is if
definitely
they
think, especially when I'll be like starting to do like live shows, I would love to bring like my own merch and like like physical copies of the EP, so like people can like have a listen.
and
Let me know what
everyone you have to come dressed to blues gigs dressed in blue and with balloons.
Mhm.
This is the thing, right? I'm starting this, right?
You are
You know,
starting.
like Harry Styles' fans all wear feather boas. Everyone goes to a blue gig with a balloon,
I'd love that. That would be
right?
great.
Cool.
Hopefully people will catch on and this will just be the thing now. And that would be
And
amazing. I'd
and
appreciate
that
it a lot.
yeah, and when you get there to the gig, you have to pass your balloon to somebody else as a gift, and you
Yeah.
have to a little message on the balloon, and you put.
Oh,
Is,
yeah.
is that lovely? Yeah,
That's lovely.
that
Look
would
at
be
you.
nice. I just think we kind of need that in the world, wouldn't it be lovely if like people came to a gig, because over the years I've been to some gigs with
Yeah.
some of my favourite bands, and it felt like family.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's quite difficult, especially because we're very English, aren't we? So, well, you're Scottish, but
I'm not.
we're very English, some of us, and actually, we find it quite difficult in a crowd situation to sort of let go and whatever. I think it would be a lovely thing if people could come to a gig
Yeah.
and actually just
It
bring
would
a
be so
message and just pass it to
yeah.
someone else, and that could be
Meet
the start
someone's
of a great
day.
conversation.
Just like spread a little kindness. The world bloody needs it. So
That's it. Blues telling you, all right, and that's what it will all be. That's what it will be about. So the single is out now
it's out on Friday.
on Friday,
It's
right?
Friday
I knew it
night.
was close. It's out
Yeah,
on Friday, folks.
it is. Oh, I'm so
Please
excited.
pre-save it if you haven't already. If you could add it to a playlist, that would be even better, so that it just
Yes.
keeps getting played. Send it to somebody else and say, add this to your playlist. I've started trying to do that lately. It's another thing, isn't it? Why don't people do this? Get a song that you love and send it to
Send it to
people
everyone you know. Like, listen to this. It's
just say, add this to your playlist. Or I've made like back in the day when I was young. Well, you don't because you're young. But back in the day when I was young, we used to make mixtapes for each other.
yeah.
And it
Like,
was a beautiful way of showing your love and affection for not just the
wish that
person
was
you
still a thing because I would love to receive a mixtape from my friends or
wouldn't
whatever.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
But
that.
why at least you can do is make a playlist for somebody and send it to them and say,
Mhm.
I have made a playlist for you. Yeah.
Like, how nice.
Wouldn't that be
How
lovely?
nice. That's like a really thoughtful thing to do for someone. I think.
It is. And, at the same time, it may open their ears to new music, because music, unfortunately, these days gets curated by
Yes.
robots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's half of it is based upon how much money people have
I know.
already, so we
Very
end up.
daunting. As an independent like artist, trying to like find your feet. It is daunting. Everything like that. Like the social media aspect of it as well, and like promoting yourself when you don't really have like people to back you up. I won't lie, it is a bit scary. I do find it a bit stressful. I'm not gonna lie, but
Well, I wish you all the best with all of that. Blue, you've been absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to
thank you
me.
so much for having me.
Come back at some point, tell
Oh, yeah,
us
definitely.
when you start getting gigs, when maybe we're getting closer towards an album, maybe you've got your merchandise, whatever. Come back and we'll do it again, and we'll show the progression, we'll show where you've got to, and we'll say, look,
Yeah.
it all started here on my music, and now look where she is. And when you're supporting Lady Gaga or whoever it is,
Imagine. We'll manifest it. We'll
we'll
manifest
manifest it. Everybody think now. Let's manifest that.
it.
Good.
Lady Gaga, please.
That's going to happen. I've got my lucky giraffe to make it happen. Look at that. All the way from
it.
Edinburgh Zoo. That one comes from.
Wow. There we go. See?
Yeah, you see?
It's
Edinburgh Zoo,
not a coincidence, guys.
Blue Walker from near Edinburgh. There we go. Thank you so much. Folks, that's been it for me today. I think I've been on air virtually all day today, which is incredibly exhausting. But I'm glad to be here. If you've enjoyed this, then this has been my music. Please do share it, subscribe, copy your friends in. Make sure that these artists that come on these shows and give over their time, actually you go and check out their music as well, because that's so important. You know, that if we can get one new person every time we do a show listening to somebody new's music, job done. I'm a happy person, because that's what makes the world go round. Oh, there you go. Jonathan's found you on Spotify. Can't find you on Facebook.
Oh, I'll have to post the link somewhere.
I can say categorically is on Facebook. Okay. Are you on, before you go, very quickly, are you on Threads yet?
Am I on what? Sorry?
Threads.
Threads? I'm not, you know. I don't really know, like, what is it? I'm such a technophobe, honestly. I'm like, what?
Right.
What
you
is
must
it?
get on Threads. You must get on Threads.
Okay,
So Threads is basically Threads. Yeah, it's so simple to do it as well, because you're on Instagram. Basically, download Threads. Instagram will just log into your Threads, take all of your contact details over and whatever, and then Threads is like Twitter, but the meta version of it, and then you can like leave little notes about what you're doing in the day, and it will get you new followers on Instagram, and that's brilliant. We must go. We must go. But if you haven't enjoyed this, then this has been an instructional video on how to clean your keyboard with tiny cotton buds. You can now do what you like with this video, as long as you listen to blues music. Until next time, bye for now.